let's just start with man of the hour, Brock Purdy. My goodness, he is just amazing. I'm going to just when talking about Brock Purdy or any quarterback, I think more than anything this year, I learned that this might sound kind of obvious, but it's two people can look at the same play and come away with it with just vastly different takeaways. And it's just because of how their bias affects them. So I'm going to try, when I talk about Brock today, I'm going to give some stuff that cannot be influenced by bias at all. So let's start with, in the first half, he had an EPA of 0.76, which means that every time he threw the ball, the Niners were expected to score nearly a full point, which is absurd. And frankly, I don't think I've seen a number that high. It's just a testament to how efficient he's playing the game, how well the Niners offense is moving, and stuff like that. And if that doesn't sway you, let's go with some simple stuff. Since he came back in that Arizona Cardinals game, Brock Purdy has thrown for over 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks, with 3 of them against Carolina, and a nearly 70% completion rate, which is up there with Drake May in terms of the best completion rate in the league, or completion percentage. If you want to say these teams aren't the best, that he's played against, Indy has had its problems since their injuries. If you want to look at if you discredit Carolina, if you're not a big believer in Carolina, you look at some of the teams he's beaten, you can be this isn't a fair sample size. Okay, let's expand it to his career. For his career, since 2022, he has the highest EPA, again, expected points, of any quarterback in football, which includes his rookie year of 2022, where he came in as the third-string quarterback, and in 2024, when he had a down year. What this guy does on the football field is insane, and I think it's time for us to acknowledge that. I'm tired of it's Shanahan. I'm tired of it's the weapons. I'm tired of so many different reasons I have heard when it comes to his success. And at some point, this is going to be really stupid. There's a saying known as Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is the best explanation. And while that's not true all the time, of course, there's nuance. At some point, he's just been playing so good for a really, really long time to where we can say, you know what? Maybe he's just a good quarterback. Maybe he's just one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And I know that's going to piss off people because for some reason, Brock Purdy is the most divisive quarterback in the league, maybe outside of Bo Nix. I don't get what has happened to change that. I frankly think that it is his draft position and a few talking heads who have really, really discredited him and pushed public opinion one way and have looked for any excuse to say he is not an amazing quarterback, which he absolutely is. I would go so far as to say that he is the second best quarterback in the NFC playoff field this year. So I'd only take Matthew Stafford. And that's nothing to do with I think Stafford is necessarily better than Brock, and it's just more of how well Stafford has played this year. He doesn't turn the ball over anymore, which used to be the biggest problem with Matthew Stafford. And he makes frankly absurd throws and he makes them seem regular. Stafford has just been amazing this year. He's going to win the MVP. So that's the only quarterback I would take over Brock right now, as far as the NFC goes. For the people who are still skeptical, right? And who, let's say they aren't the biggest fans of film, because that's why I became a Brock Purdy fan. It's not just because, he's the quarterback on my team. Frankly, I have hated quarterbacks on my team before. But when it comes to Brock, when you watch him on tape, he's absurd. I'll point out a specific one. If you look at the play that he had against the Colts in the third touchdown pass he had, he's rolling out to the right. The Colts perfectly schemed up that play. We were trying to hit a hitter on the right. We were trying to call this play towards the flat on the right side, but give credit to the Colts, they completely shut it down. And Brock's rolling, looking for something to come open. And he sees these two defenders, and he sees okay, all I have to do is just wait for these guys to bite on something. So he just patiently waits, rolls out, and then as soon as they take a few steps in, he instantly rips it to the back of the end zone, to a spot where really only Kittle can go up and grab that. It is an amazing, amazing throw. And it frankly just makes it seem so regular. So much so they're watching on the broadcast that's a dangerous throw. I don't know about that one, Brock. But when you watch Brock, it's yeah, that's a tight window throw. He loves those. That is what he is best at. So I love watching Brock so much. And frankly, when he's at the top of his game, when he's not throwing some dumb interceptions, which, in fairness to everybody else, yes, he does do that sometimes. He's just so much fun. I love watching Brock Purdy. As far as the skeptics go, and which they will always exist for any quarterback, because he was the last pick of the draft, because he's 6 foot tall instead of 6'5", and instead of having 245 pounds, he's 215, yada, yada, whatever. I just don't know what you want anymore. Genuinely, to anyone who watches the games, I don't know what you need to see to be okay, that is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Genuinely. The argument was before, he can't come back from behind, this and that. I'm looking for the word that means like front runner. Of course, there it is. But then he led a 24-7 comeback against the Detroit Lions in the AFC Championship game. Okay. Oh, well, he hasn't done it against the best teams. Well, in Kansas City with Steve Spagnuolo, prime Chris Jones, like insane, that defense that held the Ravens to 10 points, who were amazing that year. He led 3 straight drives to take the lead. And if it weren't for 4 insane Patrick Mahomes drives, likely would have been a Super Bowl champion. It's, at some point, I just don't know what more you want to see. It's like, oh, it's the weapons. Okay. Debo is gone. Aiyuk is doing something, right? Ricky Pearsall is gone for this game. Your top 3 receivers are out. It is Juwan Jennings, who has been a receiver 4 for his entire career. It's Demarcus Robinson, who was a cast-off for the Chiefs as their receiver 6. Sky Moore is in that mix, and he's still getting it done. Still getting it done. Even with McCaffrey only having 30 receiving yards, because frankly, they just didn't need to throw a million checkdowns to McCaffrey this game. At some point, it's just impossible to deny that he's a good player. There's stats that back it up. The eye test backs it up. The film backs it up. And the only thing that could hold you back at this point is any prior bias about his draft position. That's it. There's even one more. I have Mac Jones, because I saw some stuff comparing Mac Jones' stats compared to Purdy's. And to anyone who just does a blind stat comparison in that regard, I don't know what to say. If you just watch the games, Mac Jones played it differently. It was much more about quick hitters. If you watch, CMC had 10 catches in it for 100 yards in every one of those games. Because it was all about Mac just reads the field, checks it down, and keeps the offense moving. And it led to the offense putting up consistently 20, but never more than 30. And there was a lack of explosives. All that stuff you got. And again, I don't want to discredit Mac. Mac was an amazing backup quarterback. And he's going to be a starter next year, because I think some team is going to trade for him because of how bad this draft class is. Mac got his numbers in a way different way.